Let's build a business based on H2H, not B2B, but human-to-human sales and marketing automation. A human approach is the only one that sells.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next episode of H2H Sales Automation Podcast. Today, I would like to welcome Sam Easton, our own Sam, project manager at Automate Now. We're going to talk all about AI and having a control with AI. I think this is the main topic of the discussion. Sam recently ran lots of different content for us and talked to many leaders about AI and AI governance. And this show is all about compliance. So welcome to the show. Welcome, Sam, to the show.
Thanks, Bart. It's lovely to be here.
So let's start straight on. Why it matters now, Sam, to have any kind of compliance? Why does it matter for commercial teams?
So, Bart, I would say the simplest way of looking at it is compliance around AI, so specifically AI governance, is just knowing what your AI is doing, who it's doing it to, and being able to evidence that you're managing it responsibly. That's really it. That's the extent of it. And let's be honest, most commercial teams are using AI in some shape or form. So it's really about just knowing where and how you're using it. It matters for commercial teams, specifically marketing. We'll say marketing, sales, CRM, RevOps. It's just because these teams are usually some of the highest risk users of AI within an organisation. You've got high volumes of personal data. AI influences real people and real decisions. So when you've got an automation that's using AI, it can scale a mistake incredibly quickly. So you are responsible for how your AI operates, so there's no hiding behind it, really.
It's very interesting. Obviously, I'm looking at a perspective of a CEO, growing business, and lots of compliance. You know, we're talking about HR, accountancy, payments, then obviously projects, delivery, like lots of different problems. Then we actually giving another layer of kind of warning. So, what can typically go wrong with AI?
So the number one thing we will see is people just treating platform controls as if they are the governance. So we use HubSpot. That is our day-to-day platform that we use. We do use other things, but within HubSpot, it obviously has lots of AI features built in. Yeah. Lead scoring, content gen, automation, customer interactions. But they have all these settings and permissions that you can configure. But the key difference is that the controls that exist within the platform are not the same as your organisation having a governance position. That responsibility sits with the organisation. The second thing I would say is the ability of your data to support AI running over the top of it. AI cannot do what a human being can do instinctively. It just cannot resolve ambiguity. If the same information exists in 3 places in your CRM, right, we see it all the time, it's unclear where the source of truth is, right? You've got duplicate contacts, duplicate companies, anything like that. Or if your lead means something, the word lead means something different to your sales team than it means to your marketing team, your AI is going to make a decision based on that, and you won't necessarily know. There's no audit trail. So you wouldn't be surprised if you gave someone directions, right, and the road signs were missing. They would end up somewhere completely different. That's what we're looking at with AI at the moment.
This is all interesting. I think we are at the very beginning of AI governance journey, and I do remember maybe 2-3 years ago, someone mentioned ChatGPT, and obviously now we have lots of different AI engines. And at that time, everyone was hyped to create the content. Now, content is the one part, but another part is to accessing that data that will make decisions for us. So, legal and govern is AI really a legal obligation at the moment in the UK or in any part of the world? And why do you push back on really that? And what are the business risks of getting it wrong?
So, I would say it is not a legal issue at the moment, but it is a compliance issue. So the Information Commissioner's Office, the ICO, can come back and really demand to see some evidence of how you are managing your AI governance if something goes wrong. The business risk is, as you say, very, very real. It's not waiting for a regulator to come and knock on your door. From an operational standpoint, right, if your AI is influencing what leads get prioritised, it might be influencing what content goes out, what your automated emails say, how customers are treated. If you've got no oversight of that, you are already exposed. The damage, really, looking at it honestly, the damage could be reputational way before it's ever regulatory. So you could be dealing with that really quite quickly, and only then will a regulator or the ICO get involved. The other thing I would sort of push back on is that the idea that AI governance only matters to bigger companies. We'll look at a case study soon, but the Air Canada tribunal ruling didn't care about the size of the organisation. It ruled on the principle that customers are entitled to rely on information that you provide as a company, and that really applies to any business that deploys a customer-facing AI.
Sam, I think this is a good idea. Let's maybe dive deep into the kind of real case scenarios. I think at this stage of the business, everyone is wondering, like, what am I exposed? Is it all about, it's all about the security data? We don't want to scaremonger people. We want to have a food for thought that it might become the issue. And I think the cases are really good examples of what and how we can look at our own organizations. Can you share some interesting case studies?
Sure. Well, the Air Canada one is the one I use the most often because it's direct and it really applies to HubSpot as well because it involves a live chat or a chatbot. So the Air Canada case, it deployed a chatbot, a live chat. A customer came on and asked about a specific fare for bereavement, so like a discounted fare you could get if you needed to travel for a funeral.
Yeah.
The chatbot gave incorrect information, so basically the parameters around the chatbot allowed it to make up or interpret the company's policy as it wished. So there were no strict guidance around it. So it was basically just making up what it thought the customer wanted to hear. So it told the customer, as we know about AI, right? It sometimes just tells you what you want to hear and you think that's not right. So it told the customer that they could book the fare and apply for a refund later. But that wasn't Air Canada's policy, and Air Canada actually refused the refund. That case went to a tribunal. The tribunal ruled flat against Air Canada. The key message was that Air Canada cannot avoid responsibility by blaming AI. The chatbot was a tool that they used as part of their customer service. And it's customer facing and it's part of your business, so it actually is part of your business. Your customers are entitled to rely 100% on what it says. And what makes it interesting from a governance perspective is that there was no, you mentioned cybersecurity, there was no data breach, there was no technical issue with the chatbot. It was operating within its parameters. The parameters hadn't been set, but it was operating within them. It wasn't a GDPR issue. It was about the complete absence of any basic controls. No content boundaries on what the chatbot could advise on, no escalation path to a human being if the inquiry was complex or it wasn't sure about the answer, and no evidence of any regular review of the outputs from the chatbot. A huge governance lesson from this is you cannot disclaimer your responsibility away. The Air Canada had a disclaimer that said, we are not responsible for the output of this chatbot. It's just not, you can't do that. The tribunal just rejected that.
I like your idea of reviewing what outcome is AI producing at any stage of use case. And that is very interesting, just to have a think what else we can do to build it up. We're going to talk a little bit more about how to approach this complexity, and obviously perhaps that's the idea for future type of people that we're going to need in our business. But there is a concept of shadow AI And maybe can you explain, what is this? Maybe give us a bit more examples how this can be used as a tool.
Sure. So shadow AI is basically the AI that your organization uses that nobody has approved. So, for example, local authorities in general do not allow their staff to use AI. Okay, for the most part, at the moment, they're not using AI. So you can imagine that what might happen if someone has a committee paper to write. They're very long documents, they're very arduous documents, they have to be written in a specific way. You might imagine that you might email that to yourself, run it through your own AI, and then send it back to yourself to save a couple of hours of work, right? Now that is shadow AI, and it is in fact one of the biggest risks to organisations, particularly because the organisation A has no oversight of this whatsoever, but also can't put the controls in place that are needed to make that AI safe to work with. In most businesses, I would say shadow AI use is way more extensive than people realise. So Bart, you're very forward thinking. You always give us access to AI tools that we need, the latest things that are going to make it easier for us to serve our clients and customers. That's not always the case in businesses. They might buy a license for a couple of people for ChatGPT, but 5 people need it. So the other 3 people are off using their own personal account. There's no safety in place. They haven't even done the basic toggle off of, are we using this information to train the model? It's very simple to put them in place, but if you can't see it, you can't control them. So yeah, it's those AI features that are just quietly switched on inside platforms that nobody checked.
And I think anyone who is listening our podcast, get a bit of laugh and like, hey, use case is there. Everyone is using it that way. And I think we're talking about controlling AI and controlling us humans behaviors towards AI, because this is, I think, 2 different paths, and I think this is very good food for thought about that. So let's talk about what practically we can do. Okay, we talk about problem. Where is the problem? Problem is with what type of decisions AI is making, and what practical steps would you suggest to do? I'm aware of a governance framework you developed. Give us a bit more insights into this.
Yeah, I did, Bart, and it's really designed specifically for marketing managers, CRM, RevOps professionals, sales leaders, ops managers. It's practical people who are already using AI but haven't had the time or the framework to think about it systematically. The framework I built was made to be completable within a focused session. It's not a 6-month project, so it's something that you can implement immediately and have a result immediately. I mean, we just spoke about shadow AI, right? So it means if something goes wrong, you've got no audit trail whatsoever. The first step in the framework is literally to map everything out. So first of all, we take a use case inventory. What AI are you using? Where is it? Who is it impacting? Then from that, we'll move them onto a risk assessment matrix for each use case. Look at each by data sensitivity, its impact on individuals, degree of automation. Then we'll look at the controls and safeguards for each one. Maybe one's a low risk and you don't need to really manage it all that actively, but if you've got a high risk one in there, you want to add in some human oversight, you want to put some limits in place, some guardrails around it to keep your organisation safe where that one in particular is referenced. Then we need a decision log, so you're documenting your decisions so that you've got an evidence trail of how you're running your governance. And then we just run a 30, 60 and 90-day roadmap, which then builds in time how you're implementing it over time, including a review process. Because let's be honest, AI is moving and the technology is moving so ridiculously fast. You may build something, an AI tool or an agent or a solution or a workflow, 2 months down the line, it has moved on or something has changed or evolved so that a usual prompt that you would put in is giving you a different result. So it's how to make sure that we are governing what is in place already and making sure that it's still operating how we expect it to.
Sam, I think this is fantastic. I've got one comment about about who should be responsible, obviously, in a business, because that might be a part that you might address. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's everyone's responsibility, right? Particularly where you have to put something into an AI. You know, if any of your staff are at risk of using shadow AI, it is absolutely imperative that you communicate with everyone that that is not acceptable. And if they must use AI, or if they want to use AI, here is our company policy, or here is our approved supplier, or here is our approved app, or whatever it is that you're using. People will find a way to make their jobs easier, right? It's like water, the path of least resistance. So give the people what they want, make it safe, make it controlled inside your own environment. That's how you keep your business safe. It's everybody's responsibility. What I would say, though, where governance is concerned, your regulator, if you come to someone's attention, expects to see intent, not perfection. They expect to see evidence of controls that you've put in place, some sort of understanding of what it is that you're using. Ignorance is not going to be your friend in that situation. If you're making reasonable decisions, though, and you're documenting them, then that is what they want to see, and that's really achievable for anyone.
And this is fantastic. I think my take is also on the way that you run the business and working with lots of people who will help you to do that. And it is, I think, great idea to have someone who is maybe not within your business to take care of the AI governance policies and procedures, and also being compliant. And I think we all rely on people like accountants and and people who know better about changing the laws. And it looks to me that that help from third-party vendors, such as us, such as any other vendor that will help you to do that, will give you that kind of third-party validation what is going wrong. And maybe tell us a bit more, like how do we work? What sort of program do we have at Automate now, helping businesses to move from unknown to a bit of stepping and just having a bit of plan into AI governance?
Yeah, so we've got our 5-step program with templates for each stage, so you can really work through it at your own pace. The way that I would recommend that it is done is you get your entire team or your key team together, and we run through it together. And that just gives you everyone's perspective, but you've also, as you said, you've got that independent voice in the room who's saying, who doesn't have to say nice things to the boss. They can say, actually, you should be doing it this way, or you should consider turning this off or turning that on, or doing it like this. So there is something really, really obvious that you can do straight away, and that's just look at and list every AI tool your organisation is currently using, not just the obvious ones. Think about everything that's embedded in your email platform, everything that's embedded in your CRM, and what are individual team members potentially using themselves. Even an incomplete list is a really good starting point. The second thing, come and see us about our toolkit. It's online, it's in person, it's whatever you need it to be, because it's there just to support people on this quite difficult, I think, journey, which really involves quite a lot of deep thinking at times, but we're here to support.
Yes, fantastic. Thank you, Sam. I think this is very useful to have some kind of community around you and have that conversation with us, with any other business who are affected. Basically, if you are in data, if you're creating the data and you use any kind of form AI and you give it to the people, to your people, then this is now time for a compliance. Final thought, like what's your favorite AI tool at the moment, Sam?
Oh, do you mean within HubSpot?
within HubSpot, outside of HubSpot? What is your take on this?
I have got to say the AI workflow builder is actually so good. It's gotten really quite specific. So you know, the workflows now in HubSpot are so complex, and there's so many properties, especially in a portal who have lots of custom properties. You sometimes just, you're searching for all these properties all the time. If you just put in the name of what it is you're looking for and what you're looking to build, it will at least give you a starting point, and it can just make life so much quicker. I build a lot of workflows, so I really find that cuts down the time quite quickly. It's very practical.
This is very practical and easy. It's interesting. We're switching from moving to just content tool just to help us to basically as kind of guidance what to do next, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some excellent conversation. Thank you very much. Everyone who's listening us, thank you for your time. There are links. Feel free to book a time with us. Please comment, share whatever platform you're in, and definitely welcome for that. Hopefully you can join us for the next episode. Sam, wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's build a business based on H2H, not B2B, but human-to-human sales and marketing automation. A human approach is the only one that sells.